In this mini-series of 2 shiurim, I would like to share some important insights into the Haggadah Shel Pesach, which I have learned from a most remarkable perush on the Haggadah Shel Pesach in Perush Tam HaPesach by Rav Reuben Weichter Shalita. It's now been translated into English under the title Living Our History. For the past several years, this perush has enhanced my Pesach Seder, and with Hashem's help, it will do the same for you as well. The first paradigm shift is understanding that the Haggadah has a message which runs like a thread throughout. It is not just a collection of sayings about Yetzias Mitzrayim strung together. The Haggadah tells a story, and that story is about a message. Perhaps we are used to thinking that Am Yisrael exists as a nation on the same plane as all other nations. Nations emerge as nations in some kind of natural order. In Parshas Noach, we read about how the 70 nations came into existence. The national identity of each is a result of family affiliation, language, and common land. The story of Yetzias Mitzrayim teaches that our very identity as a nation, the sole basis for the existence of Am Yisrael, is our relationship with Hashem. We are a creation, yesh me'ayin, created for one single purpose. Amzu yatzarti li, tilasi yasaperu. As the Navi says, this nation I have created for myself, they will tell my glory. Yetzias Mitzrayim was a leida, a birth, and the exile of Mitzrayim was our gestation period. In order for us to even begin telling the story, we must establish that what we are talking about is not the redemption of a lot of individuals, but the redemption of a spiritual entity called Am Yisrael. The Pesach Seder must include every Jewish soul, and that's why in the Halach Ma'anya we say, Kol dichfin yesei v'yochal. Whoever is hungry should come and eat. Kol ditzrich yesei v'yivsach. Whoever needs should come and join us in the celebration of Pesach. And at the outset, we talk about the timelessness of Yetzias Mitzrayim. True, right now we are here, not in the land of Israel. Right now we are enslaved to foreign powers and foreign cultures. However, the redemption was, as we say in our davening, Cherus Olam, eternal freedom for an eternal nation. In the Haggadah we tell about two forces of opposition. On the one hand, Avodim hayinu lefaro Mitzrayim. We were slaves to Paro in Egypt. On the other hand, Lavan bikesh la'akor es hakol. Lavan wanted to uproot everything. We understand how Paro is essential to the story, but how does Lavan fit in? In truth, these two tormentors parallel the two applications of the Mishnah's instructions about telling the Pesach story. The Mishnah tells us, Maschil begnus uv'misayim b'shvach. We begin by telling the bad things, the bad part of the story, the beginnings which were so dismal. U'misayim b'shvach, and we complete the story, we complete the Pesach Haggadah with the praises of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Maschil begnus, misayim b'shvach. The first way is avodim hoyinu lefaro Mitzrayim. We were slaves to Paro in Egypt. The second way is mitchila ovde avoda zara hoyu avosenu. At the beginning, our forefathers were idol worshippers. The creation of Am Yisrael yesh me'ayin did not begin in Mitzrayim. In Mitzrayim we were born as a nation, but before that we were born as a family. That birth too was yesh me'ayin, a spiritual yesh me'ayin. Mitchila ovde avoda zara hoyu avosenu. Before Avraham Avinu, there was only Tuma, absolutely no basis for the Kedusha, which is about to emerge solely because Hashem decreed it to come into existence. Lavan understood what was happening. How Avraham Avinu was the beginning of a spiritual revolution which would undermine the entire world order. He wanted to nip it in the bud. And Paro understood this as well, that if the chosen family were to become the chosen people, if there would be an Am Yisrael whose defining purpose would be different in kind, who would be representatives of the spiritual order governed by different rules and with a totally different scale of values, then this would give meaning and purpose to the world, completely superseding and ultimately nullifying the order which gives Paro and his ilk the illusion of supremacy. Lavan wanted to uproot everything. Paro wanted to kill the male children who would form the nation. But for Hashem's plan for the world, a nation which would represent him in this world is essential. The fact that we fill that vital role in God's plan is what drives them to want to destroy us in every generation, and what causes the fulfillment of the promise that HaKadosh Baruch Hu saves us from their hands.